He needed someone to add on to him. He needed someone with him that could understand what he was going through. He needed someone who would not speak but say, we understand. We're trying to understand the rest of it. We understand in part. Then he goes back the second time. The second time, he is scolding them for the fact that they went asleep and laid there and went asleep during a dangerous time. The third time, he looks at them and he doesn't say a word. And he just walks back over there and he starts praying again. It shows me from that first time to the third time, he had received the strength that he needed to walk resolutely in. There was no division within himself about what he had to do, and he was ready to obediently walk to the cross. So he came back and he prayed the third time, and now he prayed the third time. He went and prayed the third time, and saying the same words. He said the same thing that he said the previous time. Then he comes to the disciples and said, sleep on now and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand. Now, he's telling them something that's almost prophetic or revelational. Go on and sleep and get your rest. Because something is getting ready to happen that's going to cause the world to turn upside down. Every once in a while, your world will turn upside down. And you will feel this almost calm and sedated feeling it before, and when it hits, it's no surprise. You know the enemy had to happen. They're all in shock with it. Why did this happen? What's going on? Oh, it's the enemy. And so he's saying, behold, the hour is at hand. The Son of Man is betrayed unto the hands of sinners. Now, he said this right, and they're asleep. They're asleep. He walks up, they sprawl out there on the ground, and he says, sleep on, for the hour is at hand. He's talking to himself. He's preparing himself. Have you ever went through something and you got in the car and you were talking to yourself, talking out loud, and you didn't know how things were going to fall out, but you figured that this must have happened to cause this to happen, to cause this to happen, and you get in the car and you sit there and you talk to yourself for a minute. You're not crazy doing that. Jesus was doing it. And he says, sleep on, behold, the hour is at hand. The Son of Man is being betrayed. They sleep. They sleep. They out. This was more for him. Because he was concerned about them. He was concerned what was going to happen. And then in verse 46 he says, rise, let us be going. Notice that it puts a colon there, breaking the sentence. He knew that they were on their way. He says, arise, let's go. And they're getting up and they're all tired and they're all sleepy. And he says, let us be going. He is at hand that doth betray me. Means that he's coming down the road right now. He's coming right now. Let's get up, let's go. You got to get up and go right now. And then they're walking. They're walking. And here comes Judas, leading the pack. Leading the pack. And he walks up to the master. He embraces him and kisses him. And Jesus, it's almost like he was hurt. He said, thou betrayest me with a kiss? You sold me out to these people, and now you're showing them who I am. You betrayest me with a kiss. How many times have we been betrayed? How many times have we went through it, and somebody seemingly sold us out? Thou betrayest me with a kiss. And Peter got mad, picked up that sword, got that sword out, and cut that man's ear off. Jesus put the man's ear back on and told Peter, stand down, son. Put the sword up. I got to go with these men. I got to go with them. Because now I've got to reconcile mankind unto God. I've got to bring mankind back to God. They took him to the judgment hall. They asked him questions, and he answered not a word. When they asked him, are you the Son of God? He said, you said I am. They took his raiments, arrayed him in purple, put a crown of thorns on his head. Sometimes you're going to go through.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes your emotional distress will be confined to wherever you are. Sometimes your emotional distress will be on display, and everybody will see it. But don't you give up, and don't you give in. It's just a test.
Yes.
The enemy will try to destroy your family, but if you are a good servant and a good steward, you won't get uncouth with it. You'll hold on to the blood-stained banner of the cross. You'll, instead of talking a lot, because what people do when you got something really going on and it goes public, they'll call you trying to find out your emotional state. But can I tell you what to tell them the next time? Because it will be a next time in 2009 or 10. We've had 2009, but in 2010, you will go through something. And you got to know how to handle it when you go through. But because if you learn how to increase and decrease, when you're going through, you won't get too discouraged. And when people ask you, you'll hold on to God. You'll know what to say. You won't let flesh get in the way and cause you to say something that you can't take back. When you with God, you'll have some trials and tribulations. But take a note from, if I look back, the servant that Elijah prophesied to, that she would have a child. And the child fell dead. And she had the child put into the prophet's room. And when she went down to get the prophet, the servant asked, is anything wrong? She said,